Hey guys, it's Jen. This is another episode of Reframing Me, and I'm your host, Dr. Jennifer Brubaker. Thank you so much for being here today. I am always so grateful to have you join me, but especially today because I have quite a fun episode planned for us today. Technically, just for me, because we have not done one of those in a hot minute, probably because I have been terrible at doing anything just for me lately. So it does track that I haven't done a just for me episode just for us either. So we're going to fix that with a fun episode today. I will warn you, I am quite a bit sniffly. And did you note that I sniffed there on cue just to prove that I am very sniffly, apparently? But I was totally fine. And then out of nowhere, last week, it was like I got hit by a truck, just totally knocked out by some virus. I mean, I'm not surprised. Everyone seems to be sick with something. I have been running myself ragged the past couple of months. So it was the perfect storm for it to take me out. Luckily, a ton of vitamins and a whole lot of sleep later. And I'm not exaggerating. My Aura Ring, my Aura Ring didn't make the list. But anyway, my Aura Ring said that I was in bed for 23 hours and 4 minutes on Sunday. 23 hours and 4 minutes. Like, that's more than a cat. I could not physically be vertical. But when I was up taking handfuls of wellness formula vitamins. And by Monday, I was a functional woman again. But I have been left with a bit of a cold that just will not let up. And it has totally delayed me recording this week. But I will take that over feeling like I did this past weekend any day. It may, however, make me sound a bit sniffly or a bit off though. So if so, I am sorry. In this week's Jen is Zen, which I did finally give in and just suck it up and record it yesterday, I was like, I cannot wait any longer, even if I sound funny. But in it, I reminded you that you have the power within you to make the changes that you want to see. I also mentioned that I feel like for months now, I have been the Dr. Brubaker, professor, scholar part of me. Speaking, creating resources, giving interviews, being all like cerebral. And I think we all know that that is only half of me because the other half is the crystal wielding, intention setting, woo-woo Jen who swears by her magic elixir and would, let's be honest, would probably have been burned at the stake had I lived in another time period. And, I miss her. And maybe it was being sick and realizing that sickness is very often representing an imbalance. And I have been very imbalanced lately. So we are going to fix that. We are going to put Dr. Brubaker aside for a minute and bring all the woo-woo back that we can and get my soul in balance. So buckle up, Buttercup, because I am bringing all the crazy. We are going to have a conversation about all of the wild things that I am into. Some always, and some are newer right now. A bit of these are a few of Jen's favorite things episode, shall we say. It's like an Ariana Grande, Julie Andrews combo deal. Oh, how I would like to be twirling through the Alps right now, but I'm not. So I guess it's pretty much a what makes everyone in my family make fun of me episode. So if nothing else, it should be entertaining, right? Now, obviously, we cannot get too deep into all of my favorite things because we would be here forever. And even though my mom has requested that I make longer episodes because I guess my dad listens while he rides his exercise bike. So she thinks that if I talk more, I'll keep him on there longer. And while it may be true, I am not certain y'all want me to talk for that long. And the man is 82, so we do need to be somewhat reasonable here. But if any of my things seem to be of super interest to y'all, I will obviously be more than happy to revisit them with a deeper conversation because I would and could go on and on and on about anything on this list for days. Now, I totally admit I am a supplement whore. Every day I take like literally a bazillion different ones. I am a marketer's dream. I pick up new products. I find new techniques. I look on TikTok on the daily to find new things. I will try anything because you know what? There are a lot of non-mainstream ideas or products that literally work. And I am open to doing or trying absolutely anything that manages and protects my energy. Anything that makes me feel good or look good or do good, I will try whatever to be the best version of me possible. And yes, that may make me sometimes sound like I belong in a tinfoil hat in like a remote cabin somewhere. But you know what? I only get one chance at life, and I am going to always try to improve myself and my life, whether it's through yoga or meditation or crystals or whatever, because if it makes me feel better, then I am down. Okay, so my list really isn't in any super particular order. I started with two of my old tried and trues because I almost got into talking about them a bit in Jena Zen, but I did hold myself back. So now I'm just going to go for it. Manifestation and the law of resonance. Definitely two of my favorite things. So we talked about the law of attraction and manifestation ages ago in our Manifest That Shit episode, but it is always helpful for us to revisit these things. We said manifesting is the psychological concept that is based on positive psychology and the law of attraction. It emphasizes that you can create your own reality by tapping into the energy of the universe. Our thoughts can influence the material world because when you manifest, you cultivate the experience of what it is you want. And then you live and believe in that experience. Manifesting, it's not about getting, it's about becoming. When you are manifesting something, it doesn't mean you just like put it out there into the universe and poof, sit back and wait. You put the desires of your heart into the universe. But then you've got to put in the work. So if you're trying to find yourself, reintroduce you to you, you need to put in the work for that self-discovery. You need to put in the efforts towards self-improvement, reflect on the journal prompt, sign up for the class, take the lesson, read the book, introduce yourself, ask the hard questions, apply for the program or the job, or maybe train for the race or pick up those weights. One step at a time, one day at a time. You just keep moving towards what you want. So you have to put in the work in order to make it happen. We manifest the reality that we want by visualizing or identifying or naming the life of our dreams. And then we add in the work in order to get there. And then the combination of those two things, voila, we manifest it into reality. But the biggest caveat that people often skip over is that often all of the amazing things that you want to manifest for your life, those things are vibrating at a higher frequency. They're in a higher plane than we are, so we cannot attract them. And I know you're thinking, okay, so this is where she gets all crazy sounding. But no, this is actually science, like Albert Einstein science. According to Albert Einstein, like attracts like. We are vibrational, energetic beings. So when you are nurturing low frequency emotional states, so things like anger or frustration or envy or sadness or any of those comparable like icky emotions, guess what? Your external reality will attract experiences that will only intensify those icky feelings, which is also why other days you just can't lose. All of the traffic lights are green. Your hair is perfect. You get a great workout in. Your kids are well behaved, or no one at work is making you mad. Like life is literally sunshine and rainbows. When you're nurturing high frequency emotional states like joy or peace or gratitude, your external reality gives the experiences that intensify those feelings. Like attracts like. We also had an entire conversation about the law of resonance back in our episode, Raising Our Vibration. And it's totally similar to manifesting. But the primary difference between the two concepts is that in the law of attraction, we visualize what we want in our thoughts, and it comes from a place of lacking because we don't have it and we want it. Now, in the law of resonance, we embody the feeling of what we want in our identity. And instead, it comes from a place of fulfillment and acceptance, like attracts like. And we attract what we are. So your external reality of the universe gives you what you are. And the two concepts fit together because when we manifest what we want, we then need to put in the work to get there. And that right there, that putting in the work to get there, we're embodying the behavior and the emotional state to get where we want to be. So we are raising ourselves to the higher frequency where the things that we want to manifest exist. Okay, so next on Jen's favorite things, fitness. Not probably, totally my biggest hobby. But who am I kidding, right? It's probably my only hobby, but definitely it would be my favorite hobby if I had any other hobbies that I happen to not be able to remember right now. I have been into fitness for as long as I physically can remember. I can remember recording those Gilad workouts on a VHS tape and fast forwarding through the commercials. Do you remember Gilad? He was on a beach in Hawaii. He had all the backup dancer-ish like people working out behind him. Totally old school aerobics. Well, fast forward 30 years, and lately, y'all, I have found myself doing some very Giladish cardio. I have been a runner for years. I am super into my Peloton, both my bike, my tread, high intensity cardio. I just cannot, or I guess I could not, but I could not get enough. It is my jam. The sweatier, the better. The more calories burned, the better. But things change, right? And like many of you know, once we reach our 40s and perimenopause, we're not supposed to be doing high intensity cardio anymore. It's apparently counterproductive. And I do love lifting weights too, but I don't necessarily love how I look from lifting heavy weights. And I work from home, so I sit a lot and I do need cardio because I'm 48 and I can gain weight simply by looking at food. Plus, my knees are also 48 and they have like a zillion miles of running on them over the years. So while fitness is 100% my favorite thing, I have definitely had to evolve. Oh my gosh, evolve, P-volve. Now that I'm saying that, I wonder if that's where they get the name from. Or maybe that is so obvious, I should be embarrassed. I didn't catch it sooner. But anyway, okay, low impact and strength building functional fitness, they are my jam these days. I'm super into hiking. I mean, yes, I love outdoor hiking, but we do live at sea level. I mean, technically, I think our house is 27 feet above sea level, and the highest point in Wilmington is like 75 feet or something. So clearly my hiking is only on a tread, but using incline is such a great cardiovascular workout. And it's totally low impact for your joints, and low impact zone 2 heart rate workouts are actually best for our cardiovascular system and our bone density. And yes, even for fat burn, they say. I know that that's true in my mind, I guess, but in my soul, who loves high intensity workouts. I do struggle with it, but it's best for fat burn. I've also even been doing the low impact cardio workouts that are on Peloton. And honestly, I absolutely love, love, love them. They are just like old school aerobics and Gilad. And I'm sure I totally look so silly, but I don't even care because they're just so much fun. And always strength and Pilates and bar and yoga. So all low impact and all amazing and always my favorites. But a number of months back, I joined Pvolve. And you may recognize that term or that brand because Jennifer Aniston is super into it. It's basically a version of Pilates, but instead of the Pilates reformer, they have their own resistance pieces of equipment like bands and balls and then light weights. So those things replace the reformer for their movements. They refer to it a lot as functional fitness, which I guess really now that I'm going through my current workouts, much of what I do is functional fitness. And if you're not familiar, what that means is that the exercises are designed to improve your strength and mobility and your endurance and coordination, like the things that are required for functioning in everyday activities. So it focuses on movements that mimic real life motions rather than traditional, more isolated exercises that target a single muscle group. They replicate natural daily movement patterns like pushing and pulling or squatting or hinging or twisting or walking. But the movements involve compound exercises that use multiple joints and muscle groups at the same time. So they improve your body's efficiency and your coordination. They do a lot of core and balance, stability, conditioning, flexibility, and mobility. And oh my God, they are just the best. But fitness in general, totally, always, and forever tops my favorite things list. But right now, it's low impact functional fitness. And a super weird part is that when I went to see an oracle back in the spring when we were out in Sedona, she said that I should start dancing. And of course, at the time, I laughed and my family laughed when I said that I was going to bring back the dance parties that we used to have when the kids were little. But it is not lost on me that currently my two favorite workouts are low impact cardio, which is basically dancing, and Pvolve, which is basically Pilates, a practice that was created and centered around dance. So yeah, oracles, baby. Oh, they didn't make the list on their own, but those oracles, they managed to scooch in here a bit. So what else are Jen's favorite things, you might ask? Well, skincare is always on my list. But again, the older I get, the more important it gets to me. I swear by, and this is why it made my list, I swear by my light mask. Okay, I have been using it now for about 3 years, and it's my favorite gadget. So a light mask is something that you wear on your face, kind of looks like Hannibal Lecter, uses light therapy. It's called phototherapy so it sends specific wavelengths of light into the skin. They're used mainly for skincare purposes like reducing acne or hyperpigmentation or improving your skin's texture, which is why I love. But light therapy is also good to reduce inflammation and encourage healing. So I also have a device it's similar to my mask. It's made by the same brand and everything, but it's shaped more like a hard heating pad, I guess you could call it. And we use that if we have an injury because the light promotes healing. So when my son had torn his hamstring, I had him use it to aid in the healing process. It basically, all of the light, with the light mask, it uses light wavelengths to permeate through the skin and it stimulates cellular activity. I swear by mine. Mine has red light, which is for collagen production, and blue light, that is antibacterial. And then it has it so that you can like use them simultaneously. And also, I have a small handheld device that has red and blue, but it also has green light too, which is to help with hyperpigmentation. My mask is like only 3 minutes, and I wear it before bed every single night. And I definitely attribute a lot of skin improvement to it. Okay, so while we're talking about skin, next on my list, we can include my, as I call it, my magic elixir. So every day, I make myself my witch's brew magic elixir that, yes, is also for skin, but it really is for everything. It started off as being for colostrum. And let me clarify, because I know y'all are moms, and I'm crazy to begin with. So not like literally my colostrum. I mean, I am crazy, but not like eat my own placenta crazy. I do feel like I need to clarify that. But some of y'all who have been here for a minute may remember way back me mentioning that I had started drinking colostrum because of stomach issues that I was having. And that is true. I started it for bloating and gut health. Well, little did I know just how much more came with it. So yes, colostrum is just like you're thinking after we had our babies, although I choose not to think about that. Just like as a lifelong vegetarian, I choose to ignore much of what I know about where colostrum comes from, just as I choose to ignore where the collagen powder that is also in my magic elixir comes from, because I just can't and I won't think about those things. So let's just fast forward where it comes from and just say it's gross and not one of my favorite things, that part. But what is more important is what it does. It boosts our immune system in order to fight bacteria and fight viruses. It supports gut health, so like leaky gut and IBS, all of those also gross sounding things. Crohn's disease, it fights, it strengthens the gut lining and has prebiotics for digestion and for nutrient absorption. It's an anti-inflammatory, and it stimulates muscle tissue repair and recovery after exercise. It helps to reduce muscle inflammation, and it enhances stamina, and it reduces fatigue during exercise. It promotes skin health. Yes, totally skin health, and not just anti-aging, but also wound healing. It protects against respiratory infections, and it can reduce your allergies. It enhances your digestion and strengthens bones and joints and repairs cartilage, cellular regeneration. I know I feel like I'm reading like a laundry list of things, but cognitive health, autoimmune issues, and oh my gosh, also I forgot, it was a few months after I started drinking it for my stomach that when I was getting my hair done, I noticed that the entire front were like these teeny tiny little baby hairs. And Dee Dee, my wonderful hairstylist, she was like, no, it's not just the front. You have them everywhere. They were new hairs growing in. And sure enough, I look on the website and hair growth is on the benefits too. I ended up with literal bangs growing in. Bangs, like a whole like line of them. I had absolutely no idea that apparently my hairline was receding, but lo and behold, I had literal bangs of new hair growth that had no other explanation. So my hair is thicker than it's ever been, and I'm telling you, the colostrum, I mean, I know it's gross, but I guess when we think about how important they say that liquid gold is when we first start breastfeeding, it's literally getting that every day. So gross or not, it's 100% my favorite. And then in my magic elixir, I also put my electrolytes and my collagen and my greens powder. I blend it all up, and it's actually quite yummy of a mocktail of flavors that I have crafted. I've chosen citrusy flavors. So I have like blood orange colostrum and lemon collagen and lemon lime electrolytes. So it's quite delicious. I definitely only make it in a big Stanley though, because colostrum can be a bit clumpy, which apparently actually signifies the purity of the colostrum. And of course, then the greens, they look like algae. So I don't need to see it. It's a little bit more swampy looking than I prefer my drinks to be, so I keep it in the Stanley. And speaking of my drinks, okay, we can move on to my next favorite thing. This is a new one, mushrooms. I love me some mushrooms, and not like the on pizza kind, because funnily enough, I absolutely hate those. More towards the magic mushroom type, but like, I guess magic mushroom light. Like I buy them at Whole Foods, not on a street corner. I mean, I don't know if one actually buys the other kind on a street corner, but you know what I mean. So mushrooms, amazing. I love them so much. I have gummies that I take each day, and now I've incorporated a mushroom powder into my morning coffee. So I'm going to say the powder isn't my favorite tasting. I'm still kind of shopping around for a favorite tasting one, but I can plow my way through because the benefits of mushroom are also fantastic. So I've convinced myself it's just like a Starbucks that I'm not happy with the flavor of. So mushrooms have always been known for their health promoting properties, but you've probably recently noted that they're getting more popular as a supplement. You can take them like I do in powders or gummies, but they also come in capsules and tinctures and teas. So, okay, there are different types of mushrooms. Each type of mushroom has a unique property that makes them like effective for doing specific things. So reishi mushrooms are calming and immune boosting because they have the adaptogen effects that help to reduce stress and improve sleep and just kind of support overall relaxation. And then lion's mane are known to enhance our cognitive function and promote nerve regeneration. And supposedly they help to improve your memory, focus, and mood. So they are all good for brain health. And cordyceps are good for boosting energy and giving endurance. So they're popular with athletes in order to like enhance oxygen uptake and improve stamina. And chaga mushrooms have very high antioxidants, so they reduce inflammation and regulate blood sugar. And then turkey tail mushrooms support recovery and overall immunity. So I personally just opt for the all-inclusive gummies and teas because I just want it all, especially if it's kind of icky tasting. I definitely want the best bang for my buck. I absolutely would encourage you all to join me on my mushroom trip every day. Okay, so all of those things so far, I've been preaching for a good while. Now, for my new favorites. So I have been sleeping for a few months now on a grounding mat. Grounding mat, it's earthing. And so they're also called earthing mats. And they're a thing designed to reconnect your body with the Earth's natural electrical field. The concept is that Earth has a natural negative electric charge. And when you connect with it, your body absorbs some of that energy. I know, so much science adjacent content today, right? But just go with me. Okay, so our bodies are electrically conducted and we build up positive electric charges. These charges can make you feel stressed, off balance, even sick. And this especially happens now in today's world because of our electronics and Wi-Fi and 5G. Oh, and did you know that some people are literally allergic to 5G? And I guess they're moving to Sweden to get away from it. And I will say, I noticed that when I spend a lot of time on my devices, I do start to feel sick. But it's the buildup of the positive charges. And so getting in contact with the earth allows the electrons from the surface, those negative electrons, to flow into our body. And this exchange then helps to balance our body's electrical charge, and it promotes physical and mental well-being. Now, traditionally, grounding occurred when you were walking barefoot on grass or sand or soil. However, for those of us who spend much of our time indoors, a grounding mat is like a convenient alternative to that. I mean, you can go and you can stand out on your front yard barefoot for 30 minutes, and that would be fantastic too. But I'm just not going to do that. So the mat itself, it's like a yoga mat kind of thing, but it plugs into the grounding part of your wall outlet. Like in the US, it's like the bottom part of that little triangle. I didn't know that before I got one, but it plugs into that, just that little bottom part to allow that electron flow. When you then place your bare skin on the mat, so you can do it sitting, standing, lying down, but you want your bare skin on it, you then are electrically connected to the earth. And it allows those negatively charged electrons from the ground to flow into your body. And then this is believed to neutralize the positively charged free radicals. You hear free radicals, right? You hear of that all the time, which can contribute to our inflammation and to oxidative stress. So its benefits, sleep benefits are a big one, but reducing stress and anxiety, it calms the nervous system and promotes a sense of balance. And so it can help to lower cortisol levels and just support our emotional well-being. Some people also use grounding mats to enhance their muscle recovery from exercise because that same connection to the earth can reduce muscle damage and inflammation. They support our cardiovascular health and give us increased energy levels and just a greater sense of balance, both physically and emotionally. Now, you can put it on your bed. That's what I do, like right under me or under your feet. And it comes also in sheets, but I have not had any of these sheets myself, but I've heard that it breaks down the content, whatever it is, the metals or I don't know, whatever gets woven into the fabric of the sheets, that you have to take like special care to wash them and that it breaks down from washing regardless. And I'm just not that careful. So I'm sticking with the mat. I have bought them for like everyone. Literally, I bought them for my parents and my sister. I sent one to my cousin for her birthday. Anyone who I think will use it and not make fun of me gets one. It's like you get a grounding mat and you get a grounding mat. You all get grounding mats. Okay, so the last thing here on my list is kind of only a partial because I'm still in the experimental stage with this one. Okay, so I love my olive oil. I drink a big old spoonful of olive oil every morning. In fact, crazily enough, I devoted an entire episode to my love of olive oil a long time ago, and you can definitely go back and find it. But I still drink it every day. I wouldn't call it a favorite because I know it has tons of benefits. And I'm sure it's one of those things like if I stopped doing it, I'd totally notice. But I also don't particularly notice what I'm getting out of it, if that makes sense. But recently, I have begun a bit of a relationship with a new oil, castor oil, not drinking it. Although I guess you totally can, like for constipation. I'm not sure though why I can drink olive oil, but it totally grosses me out to think about drinking castor oil. Maybe because I feel like at least olive oil is kitcheny. I don't know. But no, remember I told you about my eyelash journey? That I've always had lash extensions and then I lost a number of lashes from stress and I couldn't have them on and I looked like Mr. Potato Head without them. And so I started dousing myself in lash serums. Okay. Well, thanks to TikTok, I found the best lash serum ever is actually castor oil. It makes your lashes grow like crazy. I mean, it can burn your eyes if it gets in it, but can't everything if you get it in them? But the lashes, oh my gosh, amazing. And it totally makes sense because castor oil is supposed to be good for hair regrowth. So, like, I could have used it, I guess, had I realized I had a receding hairline. But if you have thinning hair, which lovely, another side effect of perimenopause for many people, right? But if you have thinning hair, castor oil you can use on your scalp to help with hair regrowth. So I can totally sing the praise of castor oil for hair growth and for lash growth. Now, it's only a partial here on my list because supposedly another thing you can do with castor oil are make castor oil packs. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to start trying these. Actually, I did start a couple of days ago, but like a really small specific spot with a cyst I'm trying to bring down. And I will say, I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, but I do think it's going down. But apparently, it also can be used for bloating or cramps or detoxifying your liver or for inflammation. So you make the pack and you put it on overnight onto your stomach area or your liver area or whatever, and it supposedly helps. So that is my next thing that I'm going to try. And so who knows, maybe you use castor oil packs. And if you do, please hit me up. Tell me about it. Oh, and mouth taping. Okay, so mouth taping, I want to start mouth taping like when I sleep. It's supposed to be so good for getting sleep. My husband, of course, told me that he heard that mouth and nose taping are even better for sleep. He's so funny, right? Clearly, he's super supportive of my science adjacent endeavors. But I need to wait until my cold is gone and I can once again breathe through my nose before I seal up my mouth. But if you mouth tape, tell me about it. I don't know much, but if it can help me sleep or feel good, I am down. And maybe castor oil and mouth tape, maybe they'll even make my next favorite things list. You never know. I also probably should have mentioned, now that I'm thinking about it, my Aura ring. I got an Aura ring, so it tracks everything. It has way more data than I have the slightest idea what to do with. But it's really interesting because when I got sick on Sunday and when I woke up in the morning, the first thing I saw pop up on my Aura Ring app was my ring asking me if I was okay. It noted my temperature was up and it noted that I think it was my heart, my resting heart rate was up. And so it wanted to know if I was okay. And it told me I should take it easy. So my Aura Ring is another thing I probably should have included. Oh, and my vibration plate. Okay. So one of those little like vibration plates that you stand on, it's supposed to be good for lymphatic drainage, but it totally makes like my back feel better and it makes my muscles feel good after I stretch, after a workout. So you see, I could literally go on with my list forever, but I need to stop. So, okay, I have had a total blast clearly doing this episode. I feel refreshed and much more balanced. And I think maybe I can even breathe better. I mean, not like tape my mouth shut better, but better than when I started. See, my two parts were just out of balance. Thank you so much for being here today and always. I mean, we're in this Thanksgiving week now. And so, I mean, I don't want to steal my Jenna Zen Thanksgiving thunder. That is sure to come. But I just always want to tell you how thankful and grateful I am that y'all are here on this journey with me. If you've enjoyed the show, please share it with your friends. That's how we'll grow our community. Maybe go on and give me a rating, a review, a subscribe, because all of those things will help us to grow. Find me on socials. It's Reframing Me everywhere. The website, reframing-me.com. Also, that's where you can email me or Jen at reframing-me.com. So if you want to hear any more about any of those things, or if you want to tell me about your mouth taping experiences or your castor oil packs, or maybe you have something that I am totally missing because, I am down for it. Until next time, be well and communicate.